Hi, cutie pie. I'm April Sunshine, also known as Girl Reads Reddit. Yay! And I am back to share some life advice with you guys. I just want to be helpful, gosh darn it. My expensive psychology degree better be useful for something. Seriously. And you know what? I had my degree like years ago, back when like colleges were legit. I mean, nowadays you can get credits for stuff like basket weaving and gender studies that only study one gender. Have you ever noticed how weird that is? Like, why do you call it gender studies when all you talk about is women's rights? Like, when, call me old, but back in my day, we actually talked about men as well and how men see the world. And believe it or not, there are things that are not hunky dory in the life of men. I mean, imagine being a man. Imagine if you were a man, how easy that would be. Man. Anyway, we're going to go back to Am I the A-hole today, because last time I ran into a question that was a little too deep and I didn't have the time quota. So let's bring it on. We have, would I be the a-hole if I confirm details of my sister-in-law cheating on my brother to their teenage kids? So sorry. My sister-in-law cheated on my brother with random men for 20 years. She even hit on my other sister's husband and seriously came on to him. He wouldn't be alone with her and required his wife to stay with him whenever she was around. We all heard about this recently. Outwardly, she projected herself to us as a prudish first grade teacher, but she slept with other teachers and her principal. Total hypocrisy. Now she's dating a woman, has come out as gay, and they are getting divorced. My brother found out she was spinning it to everyone that he was controlling and jealous, so he told all their friends and our families the truth about the cheating. She has since admitted to all of this, even trying to get my sister's husband to sleep with her. They have 14 and 16-year-old daughters. The kids are hearing rumors from friends' parents talking in front of their kids. I won't lie to them, so when asked, tell them I know what has happened, but it is not my place to discuss this right now. They're going through the divorce now, so trying to keep things amicable. Am I the a-hole if I spill the beans to them after the divorce is finalized? They ask questions every time I see them. She and her mother are doing spin control, and it is total lies. I won't speculate on this with the kids ever, but her being gay seems likely a ruse, considering the numerous times she was caught cheating were always with men. I don't want to screw up my nieces psychologically, but have read about infidelity and how it impacts kids. Honesty and trust are crucial. My brother will not discuss any of this with them. I'm not bringing any of this up with them. When they ask after the divorce, do I tell, or would that make me an a-hole? Man. So the best way I can handle this one is to pretend I'm one of the kids. And honestly, if I was one of the kids, I would want to know the truth. And I would want to know that there was at least one adult in my life who cared about me enough to actually tell me the truth, to not treat me like I was stupid or a kid, and to actually come and say, you know what, I don't believe in lying to you because I love you very much. You said trust is important, and that is right. They need to be able to trust someone. Obviously, they're surrounded by adults that they can't trust. So if it were me, I would tell them, just so they would have at least one adult they can come to get the truth. That sucks. That really sucks. It's a terrible situation. This person is just toxic as all heck, and I hope you guys are managing to get as much dirt on her as possible. I hate to use that word, but like evidence. You need to collect evidence of what she's doing, so that of course, during the divorce, the man will come out with custody of the children and enough resources to care for them, because they do not need to be in the house with that woman. No way. No way. She would do that to a man that she claimed she loved and vowed to spend the rest of her life with. She vowed to cherish him, to have and to hold him till death do us part, and then she did that. Terrible. Horrible. Very bad. I would not want to live with that person, and I would be forever grateful for the person who was brave enough to help me not have to live with that person. So that's That's honestly how I would feel if I was the kid. I would want somebody, at least somebody, gosh, some adult that I can trust. Isn't there anyone? Honesty and trust are crucial. You said it yourself. Time to put your money where your mouth is. I'm really sorry this is happening to you and your family. Infidelity is just an absolute nightmare. It is just, from personal experience, there I said it, it's the worst thing. The absolute worst thing that can happen to you, to find out that so many years of your life were a lie. That somebody who said they loved you could do something so horrible. So just, it's devastating. Some people don't even live through the devastation. Some people are changed forever. This is serious. This is serious business. And I hope you will do everything you can to make sure your brother gets the support and counseling that he needs after this, because he's going to need it. And those kids are going to need for him to have it too, because they don't deserve to be stuck with broken parents. You know? Man. So sorry. I'm super sorry. But as I said, I know about this from experience, so if you'd like to speak more, feel free to send me a message. Man. But no, you would not be the a-hole. You would be the only person who's not an a-hole. In fact, you'd be the only one willing to give these girls something true. Their whole life is a lie. Think about that. If she's been doing this for 20 years, their whole life is a lie. They thought that one person was their mom, and now they're finding out it was a different person. Who the heck is she? What is my life? What is real anymore? If that wasn't real, then what is? These kids are going to be traumatized. And you need somebody they can trust. You need somebody who'll step up and help them get the help that they are definitely going to need. So, I don't know if you are feeling like you're going to be the one brave enough to do that, but if you do decide to do that, either way, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for even bothering to ask advice about this. I'm proud of you for even thinking about making such a sacrifice just to give them somebody that they can trust. That's just wonderful. I wish I'd had someone like you growing up. Wonderful. Wonderful of you. Super proud of you. And I wish you so much happiness and strength for the future, because goodness, you're going to need it. Alright. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend we're taking a break if he boards a flight without me? Please read the backstory. We just moved into a new apartment in a new city. I, a 26-year-old male, have been planning to fly back to our old apartment. Wait. This is, a gay couple. Okay. With my dad, and pick up the rest of mine and his belongings and drive about 15 hours to our new apartment with all our stuff. I planned this way in advance. I even had to move my flight around last minute because I didn't know when I booked I would have conflicting commitments. Everything started great. Flight was on time, met my dad at the airport, picked up the rental car. This is too much information. Drove to the old apartment to spend the night. Woke up early the next day and packed everything into the car. I cleaned the apartment very thoroughly, which altogether took 3 hours. It was a lot of hard work and lifting. We head out of the city and stop for a quick lunch. That's when I get a text from my boyfriend. He says in summary, please don't be mad, but I booked a flight to old apartment this afternoon and I'm going to your friend's birthday party. See you Monday. Booked a flight to our old apartment this afternoon. I'm going to your friend's birthday party. See you Monday. Your friends, not his own friends? One of my my best friend's birthdays happened to be this weekend. I was trying really hard to figure out a way to attend the party, but I couldn't move plans anymore, so I ended up telling a little lie that we couldn't attend from the both of us. I'm not trying to drink alcohol right now because I've been very stressed out recently and drinking more heavily, which also played a part in my decision not to attend. My boyfriend's fully aware of this. So I'm standing in the middle of a lunch place, frantically trying to text him to understand what he's doing, and he proceeds to tell me he's actually already at the airport boarding his flight and can't talk, but he left my keys at the front desk. We don't have a front desk at our new apartment. I started freaking out and told him that if he leaves, then we're taking a break. He wasn't sure why I was getting so upset, told me he was hurt and that I was not letting him be independent and he can do whatever he wants. Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. I'm sorry. Seriously. Here's why I was frustrated. I was completely blindsided by this. We had mutually agreed earlier in the week to lie to my best friend about our weekend plans to get out of attending the birthday party. Plans to go to my friend's birthday party after all, knowing it involves clubbing, bars, and excessive drinking, which is disrespectful. He left my keys at the front desk with someone that I don't even know, so our trust is broken. He texts me, not even a call, as he is boarding the flight, so I don't have time to talk to him about his decision. So my road trip was completely soured by this after leaving in very high spirits earlier in the day. I was really moody and snappy the rest of the time with my dad, which frustrated me even further because I was looking forward to having a good conversation, but I couldn't think clearly. Continued below. Where? The F happened. I can't even begin to follow along this wall of tests. Just cut the unnecessary details and provide us with the necessary information. True. Not the a-hole. Okay. His behavior is just plain rude. Deciding to take a break is probably not a great solution, though I disagree. Okay, so what's happening is your boyfriend is breaking your trust because you guys already had an agreement about what you were going to do. He's making you look bad in front of your friend now because now your friend knows that you lied, which you shouldn't even have had to lie because if you were moving out, then they should understand. Like, this person is literally moving out of town. Of course they can't come to my party. I'm going to have another birthday party next year. What's the big deal? Right? So this takes precedence. If you're moving out, that's a huge deal. And your best friend, if they're really your friend, should have understood that their party comes second to that. And if they love you and they're really your friend, then they should have been like, no, that's totally fine, especially if it has to do with alcohol. If you don't want to go drinking and clubbing, then you have every right to not do that. So I don't know, I don't mean to be mean, but I would really question whether this best friend is really a best friend and whether this boyfriend is really somebody that you want to be moving in with, because he's now shown his true colors. He let you know at the last minute, so he was being a coward. He knew that you would disapprove, and he did this anyway. So he's broken your trust, and you have every right to want a break at that point. In fact, if it were me, I would not even take a break. I'm sorry, but I would be like, your stuff will be out on the front porch. I'm changing the locks. Goodbye. That's what I would do. Because seriously, he knew what he was doing was wrong. Everything points to he knew what he was doing was wrong, and he did it anyway. He knew this would hurt you. He knew that you were doing all this hard physical labor, moving all your stuff and driving on a road trip. He left you to do that all by yourself for this house that you guys are supposedly going to share together. This is not sharing. He's made you his slave. He gets to go and party while you have to do all the heavy lifting? That's so wrong. If anything, your friends should be helping you move out. That's like one of the key things that friends do. When you have to move out, they're there to help you lift the boxes. They're there to help you out. That's the point of friendship. Your friends should have been supporting you in every way humanly possible, or they're not real friends. I'm sorry. So, no, you're not the a-hole. Honestly, you're totally right. We teach people how to treat us by how we respond to their behavior. If you let him get away with this, he learns he can do whatever he wants, even if he knows that you are really against it, even if he knows that he's leaving you in a bad situation with a lot of stress to put up with all by yourself. You can't let this slide. I'm so sorry, but you really can't let this slide. And it's up to you. If you just want to take a break and give him a chance to come crawling back and I'm so sorry and I promise I'll change. And if you want to give him another chance, then by all means. But if it were me, I would say so long, goodbye. Wow, that's so weird. It's 15 hours. And you had to do all the driving and cleaning up the old apartment. I wish I could say I had not been in this situation before, but I have. The difference is that it was my husband who did this to me. And It's different when you have promised somebody you'll be with them for the rest of your life. You have an opportunity that I really didn't have. You have an opportunity to put your foot down and say, no, I'm not going to deal with this for the rest of my life. Like, this person, like, you have an opportunity to decide you are not marriage material. You don't respect my feelings. I can't trust you. You've betrayed me. You have broken our trust. Why should I live with that? Seriously. I'm sorry, but you can do better, man. You can do better. Look at you. You're dedicated. You're hardworking. That's no joke. You are a prize. And if he can't see that, somebody else is going to scoop you up. Seriously. So I hope this helps. I'm around if you'd like to message me and talk a little bit more. Because again, I've been through this situation and it was nightmarish. I'm still pretty scarred from the time that happened. And sometimes the other person just doesn't understand. They just don't get why what they're doing is just wrong. Or maybe they even get it, but they're just the a-hole, frankly. And they're willing to hurt you for their own selfish gain. I'm so sorry. But I'd really encourage you to ask if you really want to stay with this person for the long haul, knowing what they're capable of. So I wish you lots of luck and bravery and strength. You've already shown you have so much strength. I hope that you will deal with this in the way that shows everybody that you are not a doormat and you don't deserve to be treated like this and you're not going to stand for it. Okay? I hope you can have a wonderful future. I'm sorry that you're going through this. I wish you so much luck and love and strength. Alright. Next one. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get some newer ones. Being upset because my son didn't talk to me, but talked to my wife. Am I the a-hole for how little I'm paying my uncle? Wanted a heads up that more were coming. If I called out a coworker for smugly soiling himself at work all the time. We're getting upset at my college roommate for keeping me up all night. No, you should be upset. For getting into a fight with a friend. If I ask strangers not to call me hun, darl, love, etc. That's interesting. For refusing to move down from my spot at the bar. For cutting off my cross-dressing homophobic bastard dad. Alright. We've read these ones. For being upset that my boyfriend doesn't show much verbal affection. Honey, I have been there. Alright. If I ask strangers not to call me hun, darling, love, etc. I work in retail and I get called love, hun, darling, etc. a lot and it bothers me so much. It's always by old men and it makes me really uncomfortable. They are strangers, not a boyfriend. It also shows they have no respect for me straight off the bat. I always hold my tongue because it's just something I've had to put up with for so long. Would I be the a-hole if I politely ask customers not to call me names, or would I just get disgruntled old men? Okay. A lot of women have this problem, though. I'm assuming that you are a female, because females tend to misunderstand what the intentions of a man are. So when a guy calls you this, he is being affectionate. He's trying to give you a compliment, but he's just clumsy about it. Like, he means well, but he's just a clumsy old dude. You know what can I say? They've lived this long and nobody has ever bothered to tell them, that's really not very appropriate. I mean, do you know that? Like, they're just trying to be nice, honestly. And so it's up to you, really. So first of all, understand that they're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to give you a compliment in the best way that they know how. They're just socially awkward, lonely people. They don't mean to hurt you, and they're not trying to disrespect you at all. They do respect you. In fact, they're fond of you, and that's why they're calling you that. That's what men do. When they're fond of you, they start calling you different things. I've noticed this with my clients. I have multiple patients. I have up to 25 patients at a time, and most of them are men. And when you first meet them, they won't call you that, but as they start warming up to you and they start learning that you mean the best for them, suddenly I get nicknames. Suddenly it's one of them one of them started calling me beautiful, sweetheart. One of them calls me mama. They nickname you based on what they truly see you as. So when they're calling you hun, love, darling, that's a compliment, or at least that's them trying to compliment. So it's up to you if you want to change your the way you see this. If you want to change this as, oh, what a nice compliment, this guy's trying to help me out, he's trying to make my job a little bit easier and a little bit happier by telling me, hey, somebody appreciates you. You know, this job isn't easy, retail's never easy, but I just want you to know I appreciate you. That's what he's trying to say, even if it's a little bit clumsy. So if you want to really grab hold of that and really try to understand men and why they do these things, then you can, and you'll have a greater understanding that you can use for the rest of your life when interacting with strangers. But you are an individual, and different individuals do not handle this kind of thing well, because maybe something from their past. And it's important for us to understand that and to respect it. Like, what if you were abused by somebody who would call you love while they were doing it to you? That has happened before. People are like that. Like, sometimes you're abused terribly by somebody who claims to love you. And so hearing things like that from somebody who's a stranger, like, I could see how that could be triggering and damaging. So if you would like to ask them to stop without being an a-hole, just do it in the most gentle way possible, you know. No offense, but it makes me really uncomfortable when people call me nicknames. You know, this is my name on my tag. Do you mind, please just call me this. And most of the time they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I'll call you, and they'll read your tag. And next time they come in, they'll know to call you by your true name and to not make up nicknames. So if that's truly who you are, and you're the person who just really is not comfortable with that, go ahead and just let them know the most gentle way possible, because obviously you don't want to be an a-hole, or you wouldn't be asking. You're obviously a nice person. You're a thoughtful person. You have a ridiculous amount of patience if you're working in retail. So, yeah, like you said, you politely ask the customers not to call you names. There's nothing a-hole about that. That's totally acceptable. If it's truly you, then by all means, do it. Would you get disgruntled, man? Not if you do it the right way. For the most part, they will react based on how you react. If you're gentle and kind and you just ask them, could you please? They will respond gentle and kind, and they will do what you ask. Chances are, because people are mirrors. Based on how we act is how they're going to react 99% of the time. If you do get a guy that freaks out and becomes disgruntled, understand that he is the minority. He is the a-hole here. It has nothing to do with you. Okay? So it's up to you. You can choose whichever approach you want. For me, I chose to see it differently, because that worked for me, especially since I work with so many clients that are constantly talking to me all the time, and it's healing for them to be able to give me a nickname, to express in some way that they really appreciate me. And that's respecting who they truly are. They truly are the type of person who nicknames you if they want to show you appreciation. So, it's who you are, it's your situation. It's my job to help these people heal, not to impose what I want onto them. So in my situation, one choice is right. For you, it might be totally different. So I wish you a whole lot of luck. I thank you profusely for working in retail. We need people like you so much. I have worked fast food. Oh my God, you name it. It's not fun. It's not fun. The people who will cuss you out at the register because you can't take a coupon when it's not even your choice, or you're trying to bag groceries and they want to tell you to do it a certain way, what are you doing? You're doing it wrong. Sorry. Anyway, retail, not fun. You are a brave, brave cookie, and I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful life. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that was helpful for you. Next, am I the a-hole for being upset that my boyfriend doesn't show much verbal affection? No, you're not. Spoiler. Just kidding. I've been through this. This is my freaking life on a daily basis, so let's get into it. Okay, I'm not sure if this belongs in this subreddit, but I feel like an a-hole for bringing it up with him, so here we go. No, you were so smart for bringing it up. I recently brought up to my boyfriend that he often talks to me like I'm just a friend. Ugh. And not someone that means much to him. I also expressed that I like being called pet names. Wow, this person is so different from the one we were just reading about, huh? She likes babe, etc., and he just flat out refused and said he doesn't do that. Oh, that's not good. Okay, personal preference. I kind of chewed him out for always referring to me as my full first name and nothing else, causing me to feel awkward if I did anything but the same to him. The thing is, we've been dating for over a year now. He's never called me beautiful or anything. Yeah, see, this girl realizes that's a red flag, and the other girl said the exact opposite. I realize this makes me sound really needy, but we're long distance, so verbal affection is really all I rely on, since he also doesn't send things like letters or small gifts. Oh my god. I used to, but I stopped since I was getting nothing in return. I hope I'm not making the whole relationship sound transactional, but it often feels as though he views me as a mate to play video games with. Oh, so just a friend and that's it. I very rarely receive any kind of compliment or nice things said by him, and when I say nice things to him, it will feel like he's weirded out by it. In person, we are completely fine, but when we're not together, I feel like I'm just his online friend. So Reddit, am I a total a-hole? You are not an a-hole at all. I'm so sorry. I highly recommend you get a hold of a book called The 5 Love Languages. What this is it's an explanation for how people show and receive love. Your love language is clearly words of affirmation. And what that means is you need somebody to say kind words to you, or you will not feel loved, because that's your only language, right? You may have a secondary one. It's not clear what that is right now, but it's clear that your primary one is words of affirmation. And his is obviously not words of affirmation, because that does not come naturally to him. He doesn't want to receive it. He doesn't want to give it. So you guys are mismatched. That doesn't mean that the relationship is doomed. It just means that it's going to take a lot of work, because you're going to have to train him and teach him how to speak your language. Frankly, he's speaking Chinese and you're speaking English, and you are begging him right now, please speak my language. And he's saying, what? Like, because he doesn't get it. He doesn't know that language, right? So, you said you sent him letters and small gifts. So your languages might be both words of affirmation, which is a letter, and gifts, which speaks for itself, of course. But if he's giving neither, then his love languages are probably neither of those, unfortunately. So you are unfortunately not very well matched. It's not going to come naturally for him to show love to you, because he speaks Chinese and you speak English, and it's as simple as that. And if you have the patience to teach him how to speak English with you, that's up to you. And one way that you can do that is by buying this book and giving it to him. But before I buy anything, I would talk to him. I would ask him, do you really love me or not? I need an answer. And he might just say, what are you talking about? Of course I love you. If he says that, I would say, how do I know? Like, what do you do to show you love me? And he's probably going to say something that doesn't resonate with you at all. Like, I play games with you all the time. I always make time for you. That's a different language. That's quality time. So that's Spanish. So he's trying to speak Spanish to you, and you're speaking English over here. You're like, what? Te amo? What the heck does that mean? Huh? So he thinks he's getting through to you, te amo. And you're like, what? So he'll probably tell you, if you ask him, do you love me and how are you showing that? He'll tell you himself what his love language is. And you're probably going to find out that, yes, you guys indeed are mismatched. Since he's a boyfriend, if it were me, I would probably walk away from the situation. You haven't been together too long. and it doesn't seem this is very natural for him. So you're going to have to decide, what are the pros for being with this guy? What are the cons? And if the cons outweigh the pros, then you might have to consider walking away. But if the pros are really strong, then I would recommend talking to him. Ask him, do you love me or not? And how are you showing that? And then just gently explain to him, I really appreciate that you've been doing this to show that you love me. But I have to be honest with you, that's not the language I speak. Like, that's not the best way to show me that you love me. To me, that just comes off as friendly. It doesn't really come off as romantic love. But what does come off as romantic love is if you were to call me honey, baby, tell me you're so beautiful, I'm so glad that you're mine, things like that. And he might have some trauma behind that. He might say, that's really not me, I can't do it. And if that's so, then, again, I would really consider walking away. But if both of you agree that you really want this relationship and you're willing to work for it, there are even free things that you can get. Just YouTube the 5 love languages, and it will teach you how to speak each other's love languages. And you're going to have to send him the book or send him a video on words of affirmation so that he can learn what a love language is and why he should try it for you. If he really does love you, then he will be willing to work with you. Like I said, I'm going through this myself. My husband is struggling, and I don't mean to be mean, I don't mean to sound pessimistic, but we've been together for 13 years. 13 years. And he is still struggling just to say the basic, I love you. You look pretty today. I don't know that I've ever heard him tell me that I look pretty today. I'm not sure I've ever heard it even once, but every day I just flood him with, I'm proud of you. I love you. Thank you for doing this thing to me. That was so sweet. You're so good. I'm so glad I have you. So I teach him, I show him what it looks like, but he's really struggling to reciprocate, and I know he means well, and I know he loves me. But I just want you to know ahead of time, it could take 13 years or more for him to get even the basics of your love language down. So I don't know how much you love this guy. I don't know how much struggling you're willing to go through, but if you don't put your foot down and really tell him, this is how I receive love, I really need you to learn this for me, he's never going to learn it himself. Never. It's just an unreasonable expectation. Well, it's not really unreasonable, but it's just not likely for it to happen naturally. You just have to step up, and if you care a lot for this guy and you really think it could work out and it could be a great relationship long term, then do the studying and invite him to do the hard work, because it is hard work for a lot of people. So why my heart beats so fast? That is so cute. What a cute name. This person's cool. I like you, whoever wrote this original poster. You're pretty neat, and I'm so sorry that you don't get any words of affirmation. Please stop. Please stop. My dog is attacking me right now. But OP, you're not an a-hole. Your thoughts and worries are legitimate. You deserve to have somebody who will speak your love language, and many people do. So just believe in yourself. I believe in you. Okay. This was a treat. Thank you guys so much for watching and for learning with me today. I love you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Diamond says hi. Bye-bye.